In this episode, we take in the colors and the reverence of Antelope Canyon.
And step off at one of the most famous places on the Colorado River. Antelope is a slot canyon on Navajo land in Arizona.
There are multiple outfits that will take you into Antelope Canyon. And because the canyon is only accessible via Navajo land, you have to use one of their guides. So we found a guide service called Canyon X Tours in Page, Arizona.
Now the tour was unbelievably beautiful, and the people were great. I'm not gonna lie, our first impression with the company was a little on the sketchy side.
Right, because you drive 100 miles into the Arizona desert. Then off to the side of the road is a dirt parking lot with a sign that says Canyon X Tours. At the back of the parking lot is a table. No building, no tarp even, just a card table where people take your money.
Now it gets even better. After we pay them, they asked just the two of us to get into this huge Suburban that they then drove down a dirt road further into the desert towards the canyon.
Eventually we reached the top of a very sandy, steep hill. We're told to walk down it to meet our guide. We were kind of fearing for our lives. But once we got to the bottom of that hill and we met up with our guide, the beauty of the canyon and how kind the people were made up for any unease that we felt at the beginning of the tour. Wind and water over thousands of years carved this immense beauty.
Henry, our guide, enriched our experience by playing traditional Navajo flute, amplified by the echoing canyons.
In certain sections, flashlights were necessary, or we had to guide ourselves by pools of light shining through the wind-carved tunnels. But the majority of the hike was magnificently lit, brilliantly displaying each breeze that has ever touched the rock face.
It was truly a transcending moment.
We were the only two in our group and the last tour of the day, so we got to linger and photograph as much as we desired.
As we snapped our pictures, Henry told us how the color of the rock can completely change depending on the position of the sun.
"15 minutes down the road from our Antelope tour was the trailhead to Horseshoe Bend.
Because we still had a fair amount of driving to do that night, we decided to make this a quick stop by running the 1.5-mile trail to the Horseshoe Overlook.
Horseshoe is an enormous bend carved into the sandhill cliffs by the Colorado River that has become an iconic image of the Southwest. When we got to the overlook, we stood 1,000 feet above the bend, taking in the colors of the cliffs and the river, which are ever-changing with the sun's rays and shadows.
A perfectly formed U-shape with vibrant green plant life lining the river and quickly flowing blue water.
It's no wonder why this spot is the most photographed area of the Colorado River. Thank you for joining us on this stretch of our Parks West destiny. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing.
And to see our previous episode, just click the video here. And you won't want to miss our next one when we begin our descent hike into the Grand Canyon.
But until next time, make sure that you get out there and explore.
By taking the scenic route.